Okay. We are getting ready to have a Public Works Committee meeting. It is now 6 o'clock on Thursday, September 30th. And I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the people that are present on my committee are myself, Bill Duvall, and Lisa Newberry. We also have Ray here, and Danny, and Natalie, and Christy, Ashley. Christy. Okay, so I would like to make a motion that we adopt the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it has been passed. Okay, so we have, the main thing we need to talk about tonight is Destination Park. We've been working on this for a long time, and we've put out bids for it, so I have got a young man here that kind of knows what he's talking about, so I'm going to ask Adam to come up and give us some information on what he found out about our park and the bids.
There we go. Yeah, so the Destination Park project, we bid it out for the first time in August. And unfortunately, we only had one bidder. And shortly after his bid submittal, he realized he made an error, so he withdrew his bid. So we put it out to bid again and had the bid opening in September and had two bids this time. But unfortunately, this time they came in much higher, significantly higher. So there's various reasons why we think the prices have gone up lately. Material shortages, labor price increases, and contractors are very busy, it seems. I've been seeing bid prices go up on lots of projects, not just this one. So after discussing it with Danny and the city, we think it may be in the best interest of the city to hold off on this for a while and maybe see if the economy settles down, possibly rebid it next year. But I'm open to answer any questions or have a discussion about it.
Hey, Adam, wouldn't it be, have you thought about, instead of one contractor having the whole project, kind of breaking it down in several
We have,
several
and
phases?
the project kind of started as three separate SPLOST projects. There's the sidewalk project, the sidewalk from Fox Run neighborhood to the park, and then the utilities to be able to have a restroom in the park, and then park improvements itself. But as we were developing the plans, we felt like they were all kind of interconnected, that you wouldn't really want to build the utility lines down can't think of the name of the road, Tuck Road, in front of the park and then come back and do the sidewalk later, or vice versa. And you can't really do the restroom building in the park without having the utilities to the park in place. So we felt like fitting them all together would be the way to go.
Can you just, normally you have a bid in front of us to look at to see what else included. Can you just remind me what all was included in this project? I know we're doing bathrooms.
Sure. In the park itself, the big item was the new restrooms. There was going to be some new shade structures over the existing playground equipment. There's going to be a new pavilion, if you enter the park in the back right-hand corner behind the playground, there's going to be a new pavilion there. As part of the restroom, there was going to need to be a small pump station to send the sewer back up Tuck Road to the Fox Run neighborhood. We were going to have a memorial garden, landscaped area with some benches and swings. And then also there's going to be a new sidewalk along Tuck Road to tie into where it stops at that next neighborhood past Fox Run. And then all the necessary utilities along Tuck Road to support the restroom and the park itself. So,
And walking trail.
and yeah, resurfacing the walking trail through the forest there. And a small dog park back behind the existing pavilion.
So did we bid everything out to when one contractor responded, but he took his bid back and came back significantly higher?
That's correct. The first bid, we only had one response, and he had an error in his bid and withdrew his bid, which they're allowed to do within the first, 48 hours. So we bid it out again and had two responders this time, and they came in much higher than the first guy. The first bidder is not allowed to, if he withdraws his bid, he's not allowed to submit on the second bid.
So I know Bill and I talked about it too, about the possibility of just holding off on it until we see what the economy does, and we're kind of like iffy on it. So, I mean, what does everybody else think?
Well, that would be my consensus. And I talked to Danny a little bit, and he thinks that's probably, I mean, we don't have any way of knowing what next year's gonna bring, but it's not something that has to be done. I mean, you know, we've been,
Right.
so it's not something that has to be done right now. Danny, you have any comments?
No, I think y'all answered it. Adam and I have been working on this for several years now, and speaking with Bill, he and I talked in depth about it yesterday, and it's just, we've waited this long, we don't want to rush it and spend more money than we have to. There's no set when we have to spend this money. It is 100% funded by Gwinnett County SPLOST, and also Gwinnett County's doing a joint project with the sidewalks and the shade structures as well. So, of course, we want it done as soon as possible for a restroom, but we don't want to just give money away just because it's a busy time of year either. So I think we should wait, but the reason it's got to come before y'all because legally we have to respond within 60 days of the
Correct.
bid, and that's coming up in the third, fourth week in October. So it needs to go before the council with a recommendation either way so we can let the contractor know. But it would be my recommendation that we hold off until Adam and them can see the prices are coming back to more in line with what we think they should be.
And it still gives us options. I mean, we can put it back in at some point, but, you know, we also have an option, you know, on the flip side, as opposed to breaking it up, you know, we could add it to a different project that we may have going on, a bigger project, and maybe get better unit pricing for it. Certainly, there's, we went over the bid, you know, pretty intensely, and, you know, there are certain areas that, you know, you give it a bigger contractor, he doesn't have to put so much in right off, not bigger contractor, excuse me, give it out to more bidders, get it with a bigger project, then they can kind of lower those other costs. So it seems like it's a good thing to do to try to hold off, and it gives us options. It's not like I mean, it's a priority, so we certainly want this project for sure, but we want it for the right price.
If I may, rebidding is not a big effort, especially since we've already done it twice now. All the paperwork's in place, it's easy to modify, so whenever the city is ready, it'd be easy to do.
And there's a small cost for them to rebid. It's a couple $1,000, but we can save $100,000 on weight, and it's worth the $2,000 in my opinion.
Yeah,
done it
are
since
we,
2016, so it was another 6 months.
Are we having any issues with the builder? I think Mark Stifer, any issues with that?
Not currently.
moving forward?
That's
The big-
when we were coordinating with him, that was part of the delay on this project, that there's potential to take our utilities to the south through his potential development. So we studied that for a while, but that eventually fell through, so
Okay.
he's out of the picture as far as I know.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, well, I make a motion that we hold off on this, maybe submit it again after the first year, see if we can get any of the bids, come in lower, something that we feel like's not gonna break the bank, so to speak. I mean, we've got SPOS money, but we wanna make sure that we spend the money wisely. So, that's my recommendation.
Is it your motion?
That's my motion, sorry. That's my
I'll
motion.
second your motion.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Okay, Lisa, second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, so I'm gonna let Danny take this SPOS fund we've already talked about, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna let you know that this project is a SPOS-funded project. That's where the funds would come from. So I don't know if y'all have any questions, but, you know, there was some discussion that if we did move forth, there would be a shortage in what the bid was and what we have available, so we would either have to take the remaining balance out of reserve, and then we could pay ourselves back when SPOS comes in. It still has 2 more years of collecting on it. I believe it expires March of 2023, I believe. So, happy to answer any questions on the Gwinnett County SPOS. Okay, that's all I have on that.
So let me ask you a question, backing up on so as far as the bid goes, I mean, as a committee, we're gonna say, and we would not go forward with it. What do we do in the council? Are you gonna reject the bid at that point, or I mean, the council has to bring it up, but,
Yeah, so I would imagine Ms. Dodd will bring it up and make a motion that we had a committee meeting. It was the committee's recommendation that we deny the bid and rebid at a later date, and then they would, as a board, as y'all as a whole would vote on either accept it or rebid. So that, but I had to have an answer from y'all so I can let the contractor, actually Adam and then we'll let the contractor know.
sure. All right, thank you.
Hey, Danny, are we working on the Gwinnett County SPOS for 2023 now, or any updates on that?
No, I have no updates on it.
No? Okay.
Okay, then the next thing on the agenda is a street sweeper, and I'm gonna let Danny talk about that.
Yeah, this is just to let you know that in the next committee meeting, we're going to be actually talking about purchasing a street sweeper, but this is to let you know that we are going to rent one. We currently are required to do street sweeping for our MS4, which is stormwater. There is a number of road miles, Brandon, is it road miles or just do a street required? Microphone, please, so they can hear you at YouTube land.
I would have to check on I know we have to have a certain tonnage, if I'm not mistaken, is that correct? On MS4? Yeah, you have to record how much
And
you're
what do we,
picking up.
is it 4,000 roughly we paid?
To rent?
No, that contractor we have used in the
Yeah,
past.
it's roughly $4,000.
Yeah, 4,000. So we pay, and it's one night they do it?
Mm-hmm.
So one night, they go out and, yep, and sweep some streets. And we get so many tonnage and we had to log that with our MS4. So we had to show that we are cleaning the streets for stormwater. This year, Brandon's department looked at renting one. We were told that we could rent one, so it has been ordered. It may come over my limit, so it's also why it's on the agenda. The rent was only $7,000, but the shipping and the handling fee may take it over $7,500. So I will be asking the council to approve that, but just to cover in case it goes over the $7,500 limit. So we're going to have it for one whole week.
Mhm.
And we're going to hit 78 and some other roads. It'll be running both morning and nighttime. We will have a police escort once we're on 78. There will be some crews in front of it, loosening the debris in the gutter line. And if there's any, big debris that won't pick up, such as like parts of tires, they'll get that. And hopefully we'll get 78 cleaned up and any other streets we can get that has a curb line.
How often do we have to do this, Danny?
Once a year.
Once a year?
And that's a requirement
That is a requirement.
from the state?
That's one day, what we currently
One
pay.
day.
So it's 8,000 for a week, so, and we'll get in the street sweeper in the next committee, but it's 163,000 to buy one.
So do you, and I guess strategically, do you do it, like, plan it before or after the autumn festival, or what, do you have plans for when you'll do it?
I don't, do y'all,
Usually around fall.
fall, yeah. It's usually, it doesn't correlate with the fall festival, but usually it's in the fall time. We can get on their schedule, actually, but, us renting it, we can schedule it whenever we want to. It's actually coming next week.
Next week, supposedly, yeah.
And how much was it to contract it?
I think it was $4,000 we pay for a company to do it. But this is actually renting it from Sunbelt. They deliver it from Tennessee, that's where it's at. And then we'll have the guys go out and pick up cigarette butts and grass clippings.
When do they do it, Danny? Early in the morning
They'll be
before
doing it
traffic?
both daytime and nighttime. So they'll stay off the busy 78 at daytime and then hit it at nighttime.
So we got the coordination down packed.
Yep, we've already spoke with the police yesterday morning. Highways and Streets will coordinate that with Bill,
Yeah.
with Stormwater, so yes. It's about, 6, 7 guys?
So the minimums are a requirement for MS4. What you're gonna be doing is, I mean, you're gonna be picking up all right, so you said make, what, roughly 2 miles on 78? Is that what you?
Yeah, it's not much. It's-
But it's not just 8,000 to rent it. I mean, you're gonna have 2 crews tied up for a week, so it runs more than that. But the benefit is you're gonna be hitting way more miles. So I guess kind of what I would look for is, I'd like to know when you, because we'll go from committee and go to council about this. I'd like to know, like, what is the, the unit that we're collecting in that, that one night that's done, if it's tonnage, you know, exactly kind of how much they collect.
Yeah, we have a report from them they submit, and I can have that for you next council meeting.
Yeah.
We'll already have the street sweep by the next council meeting. I don't anticipate being over my limit, but if it is, I just want to, go ahead and get approval. I hate to do that because we've already rented it, but to rent it was only 7,000, I believe.
That's right.
But
So-
we don't know what the shipping is until after we get the bill.
Okay, so then you can, conversely, you can say what it is you accomplished too, and you'll see the
Correct.
benefit. I think that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, we can give you, I believe this truck is a 4 cubic yard it holds. It's not a commercial, you don't have to have a commercial license, so it's under 26,000 pounds, so it's about 4 yards. But it also uses water, so that weight is also down because it has to use water to keep the dust collection. That's where all the weight comes, but it's actually based on yardage, not weight.
Danny, you said this is coming from Tennessee. Could we not find anything in the
That's
state
the
of Georgia?
Closest one they had.
Closest one they have? Okay.
So at the end of the day, is the benefit that we have cleaner streets?
Yes.
Is that what we're trying to accomplish?
Yes.
Okay.
All the, on 78, all the little islands, that's where landscapers, when they blow it out in the street, which they're not supposed to, but they do. And it collects cigarette butts, trash, it just, 78 is the most traveled road through the city, so we're gonna start with that, and then we'll branch out from there. It'll only be in the city limits, though. And of course, we'll coordinate with the state of Georgia as well, GDOT.
So it's 4,000 to rent, 7,000 just to purchase, and how much to,
4,000 for a company. Lower, say, call it 8,000 to rent for a week, and then the one we'll be talking about later tonight is 100. I have one quote for 163,000.
So any more questions?
And I think, I'm guessing that you're working toward, hit the main routes, hit the city streets. You're not thinking this is gonna bleed into neighborhoods or something you'll have to see?
Yes, if we have time, yes, we're not gonna let it sit for days,
Right.
because we're paying for it. So it's downtown of Loganville, of course. It's 78, 20. It's gonna be streets that have curb gutter. So if there's any public streets, it will not be used in private communities, because they're not our streets. But anything that we have time extra, it'll be any public street the city has. So we'll get as much as we can in the time frame. Short any water main breaks, sewer main breaks, because that's the same group.
Okay, any other questions? Well, I'll make a recommendation that we've already rented it, so I guess I'll make a recommendation that we approve the rental for the sweeper.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And the only other thing I have is I wanted to ask Danny, do we know what kind of a turnout we had on Saturday for the
Cleanup,
cleanup? Yep.
I was told, Brandon jump in, it was more like 5 roll-offs. The mayor had 12 people and 27 bags collected.
Correct.
And we had, there was not a lot of people that came to dump day.
Okay,
It was actually 8 containers, but it could have been in 5 containers of roll-offs. But I won't say they told me it was 40 people that showed up. That was
Wow.
it. But that's 40 people that dumped trash, that didn't dump it on the road.
and how many did you say, Ray, you had?
I had 12 and 27. 12 people and 27 bags.
So people did some mix, okay. I'll give a report on that at our next council meeting. So, we'll know.
Yeah, just
All right.
thank Brandon's crew for working on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Because it took, 7 to 8 guys?
thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
And that's all I have. And does the city manager have anything?
I have nothing else to report that I can think of. Jeremy, you're a man of very few words. You have anything you want to report? No, thank you, sir.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Man of few words, but a lot of action.
And you only get to come to these once a year, because this is my first one this year, so, you know. I don't get called on very often to do that. That's okay. We got a good department. That just means that you run your department top notch, no problems, right? That's right. Okay, well, I make a motion for an adjournment.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. My meeting is adjourned.